This is African News 24 TV. I'm Mary Adim with the latest in politics, sports, and global affairs. First, the headlines. Police fired tear gas at demonstrators protesting Lagos demolition as protesters block Onitsha bridge over market closure. FG deploys military retirees to secure ungoverned spaces. Make nuclear deal or next US attack will be far worse, Trump warns Iran. Now to the news in full. The federal government has announced the deployment of military retirees to help secure Nigeria's ungoverned spaces, a move aimed at strengthening national security and reviving economic activities in conflict-affected regions. The initiative follows the inauguration of an 18-member committee tasked with repositioning the Nigerian Legion Corps of commissioners and veterans. Retired but experienced military personnel will be mobilized to reclaim ungoverned spaces plagued by terrorism, banditry, and insurgency. Minister of Defense General Christopher Musa, represented by Permanent Secretary Richard Filangwa, emphasized that the deployment of veterans will complement ongoing military operations by leveraging their discipline, local knowledge, and combat expertise. The Defense Ministry described the move as a strategic step to transform military gains into lasting stability. Police in Lagos fired tear gas on Wednesday to disperse hundreds of demonstrators protesting forced eviction and demolition, sparking chaos around the Lagos State House of Assembly in Ikeja. The demonstrations linked to clearance operations in communities such as Makoko, Owode-Oniri, Oronshoki, Otunba, and Ojora left residents fleeing in panic, with reports of injuries and at least 5 fatalities in earlier demolition-related incidents. Members of the Coalition Against Demolition, Forced Eviction, Land Grabbing, and Displacement in Lagos State on Wednesday staged a protest against the demolition of homes in the Makoko area of the state, condemning what they described as state-backed displacement of vulnerable residents. The protesters, who marched through parts of Ikeja down to Secretariat, accused the Lagos State government of repeatedly demolishing waterfront communities without providing alternative housing or compensation, a situation they say has led to deaths, homelessness, and long-term trauma. Speaking during the protest, human rights activist Taiwo Hassan, popularly known as Soweto, said the demonstration was a reminder of lives lost during past demolitions in Makoko and similar communities. Hassan rejected this justification, insisting that the demolitions amount to a violation of fundamental human rights.
And they say the power of the people, the power of the voice of the people rather, is the voice of God. Yes. Yes. And when people say yes, nobody can say no. So, comrades, please bring it here first. Bring it here first. Bring it to the people.
Still on protests. Protesters in Onitsha, Anambra State, on Wednesday blocked the busy head bridge, halting traffic between Onitsha and Asaba in a dramatic demonstration against Governor Chukwuma Soludo's one-week closure of the Onitsha main market. The blockade left commuters stranded and sparked tension across the southeast most critical transport corridor. Traders and residents staged a protest, barricading the bridge and chanting slogans against government's order to shut the Onitsha main market for 1 week. Governor Soludo ordered the closure of the Onitsha main market after traders allegedly failed to comply with his directive to end the long-standing Monday sit-at-home practice. Protesters accused the government of punishing them unfairly, arguing that the closure would cripple livelihoods and worsen economic hardship. With protests entering a second day, fears are growing of further clashes between traders, residents, and security forces. Meanwhile, Governor Chukwuma Soludo has ordered the closure of 12 additional markets in Anambra State after traders failed to comply with his directive to end the Monday sit-at-home practice. President Bola Tinubu has announced a landmark $250 million initiative aimed at restoring livelihoods and empowering Nigerians displaced by floods and other climate-related disasters. The 10-year program, called the Climate Resilience Livelihood Empowerment Program for Displaced Populations, will focus on climate-smart agriculture, renewable energy, and entrepreneurship opportunities. Tinubu emphasized that climate change is now a driver of displacement and insecurity, making it urgent to invest in resilience. Nigeria has faced severe flooding in recent years, with thousands displaced annually across states in Kogi, Anambra, and Bayelsa, and the Climate Resilience Livelihoods Empowerment Program for Displaced Populations is seen as a strategic response to this recurring crisis. The House of Representatives has intensified its probe into the management of agricultural subsidies and intervention funds, summoning the Minister of Finance and Agriculture alongside the Auditor-General of the Federation to account for how funds meant for agricultural programs were disbursed and utilized over a 10-year period. The move follows concerns by lawmakers over missing audit reports and gaps in accountability amid rising food prices and food insecurity in the country. Our next report tells us more.
Investigating agricultural subsidies and intervention funds has summoned the Minister of Finance, Wale Edun, and his agricultural counterpart, Abubakar Yari, as well as the Auditor-General of the Federation, Shaka Chira, over the handling of funds spent on agricultural programs between 2015 and 2025. The committee said it was unhappy with the records presented so far, noting gaps in accountability. The committee chairman on agricultural intervention funds, Jamu Aminu, said several audit reports on subsidy and intervention programs were missing, making it difficult to track how the funds were used.
So as I report to you, there is no figures from your side. You have not indicated any figure here stating that you've investigated or your attention was called on ABCD, on embezzlement or whatever, on social amount. Your report did not indicate that very well. And our interest in the whole project, we don't have any specific interest.
He explained that the probe is part of efforts to ensure accountability in agricultural spending, especially at a time of rising food prices and food insecurity. A representative of the Auditor-General's office, Mohammed Adamu, said delays were caused by the Ministry of Agriculture's failure to provide needed documents and called for closer scrutiny of both the Finance and Agriculture ministries. The committee insists that all relevant documents must be submitted, stressing that The House of Representatives Committee investigating agricultural subsidies and intervention funds has summoned the Minister of Finance, Wale Edun, and his agricultural counterpart, Abubakar Yari, as well as the Auditor-General of the Federation, Shaka Chira, over the handling of funds spent on agricultural programs between 2015 and 2025. The committee said it was unhappy with the records presented so far, noting gaps in accountability. The committee chairman on agricultural intervention funds, Jamu Aminu, said several audit reports on subsidy and intervention programs were missing, making it difficult to track how the funds were used.
So as I report to you, there is no figures from your side. You have not indicated any figure here stating that you've investigated or your attention was called on ABCD, on embezzlement or whatever, on social amount. Your report did not indicate that very well. And our interest in the whole project, we don't have any specific interest.
He explained that the probe is part of efforts to ensure accountability in agricultural spending, especially at a time of rising food prices and food insecurity. A representative of the Auditor-General's office, Mohammed Adamu, said delays were caused by the Ministry of Agriculture's failure to provide needed documents and called for closer scrutiny of both the Finance and Agriculture ministries. The committee insists that all relevant documents must be submitted, stressing that transparency and accountability are essential to ensure public funds meant to support agriculture achieve their intended purpose.
The Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board, JAMB, has dismissed reports claiming that undergraduates are prohibited from registering for the Unified Tertiary Matriculation Examination. JAMB debunked the claims via a statement issued by its spokesperson, Dr. Fabian Benjamin, on Wednesday, January 28, 2026. Benjamin described the claims as misleading and a distortion of JAMB guidelines by self-styled education advocates seeking attention and traffic on social media platforms. Benjamin stated that students currently enrolled in tertiary institutions are allowed to register for UTME or direct entry provided they disclose their matriculation status during registration. The Revenue Mobilization, Allocation and Fiscal Commission has pledged to resolve the ongoing dispute over the ownership of some oil and gas fields across the country. The Commission says the disagreement has affected revenue allocation among states, adding that it is engaging stakeholders and reviewing existing records to ensure a fair, lawful, and transparent resolution. We have more in this report.
Allocation and Fiscal Commission said it is stepping in to resolve the dispute over the ownership of some oil and gas fields across the country. The Commission says the disagreement has affected revenue sharing among states, making intervention necessary to ensure fairness and transparency. The Revenue Mobilization, Allocation and Fiscal Commission says it is engaging relevant stakeholders and reviewing existing records to determine the rightful ownership of the affected oil fields. Mohammed Shehu, the Revenue Mobilization Allocation Commissioner, assures Nigerians that the process will be transparent, adding that the final resolution will strengthen revenue allocation and reduce tensions among affected states.
We'll go on a quick break, and when we return, we'll continue with the rest of the news bulletin. Welcome back. Normalcy has returned to the Federal Capital Territory Administration as workers resumed duties on Wednesday following a court order suspending the strike. The resumption restored activities across ministries, departments and agencies in Abuja after more than a week of disruption. Acting head of the Civil Service of the FCT, Mrs. Nancy Sabanti, directed all secretariats, departments and agencies to reopen and maintain attendance registers to ensure compliance. By Wednesday morning, staff resumed across FCTA offices and normal administrative activities began to pick up. Services previously stalled, including documentation, permits and public inquiries, were reactivated, easing pressure on residents of Abuja. And on a rather sad note, business mogul and Olori Omoba of Lagos, Otunba Adekunle Ojora, has been confirmed dead at the age of 93. Ojora's family announced his demise via a statement issued on Wednesday, January 28, 2026. The family, in a statement issued by Tony Ojora Saraki, the deceased daughter and wife of former Senate President Bola Saraki, said Ojora died on Wednesday morning, adding that he will be buried in Lagos in accordance with Islamic rites. Ojora was a renowned boardroom figure with a career spanning journalism, public service, politics, and corporate leadership in post-independence Nigeria. He held influential positions, including long-time chairmanship roles in major companies, and was deeply rooted in Lagos and Yoruba traditional institutions. Murtala Garo, the former deputy governorship candidate of the All Progressives Congress in Kano State, has hailed Governor Abba Kabir Yusuf's defection from the New Nigeria's People's Party to the APC, describing it as a bold step toward political stability and sustainable development in the state. Garo praised Yusuf's decision as a significant and commendable step that reflects political maturity and foresight. He emphasized that Kano and Nigeria at large require unity and inclusive governance, which Yusuf's defection could help foster. Governor Abba Yusuf officially joined the APC alongside 31 lawmakers and 44 local government chairmen, marking one of the largest political realignments in Kano's recent history. Delta State Governor Sheriff Obowori has directed security agencies, including the police, to arrest and prosecute anyone found in possession of firearms or trying to disturb the peace in the state as the region prepares for the 2027 general elections. We have more details in this report.
Governor Sheriff Oborevori gave the directive on Tuesday while receiving the newly deployed Commissioner of Police Aina Adeshola and his management team during a courtesy visit to the government house in Asaba. Oborevori described the posting of Adeshola as a homecoming, noting the police chief's familiarity with the state and deep understanding of its security terrain from previous service. In his response, Aina Adeshola thanked the governor for the warm reception and reiterated the command's commitment to maintaining security across the state. He assured that under his leadership, the Delta Police would intensify efforts to ensure residents continue to sleep with their two eyes closed. The governor stressed that illegal possession of firearms and acts aimed at disrupting public peace would no longer be tolerated. He also urged residents to support security agencies by providing timely and credible information, describing security as a collective responsibility.
Go on another break right now, and when we return, Praise Adeleke is on standby for business news.
Welcome to business. On today's news, the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited has increased price of petrol at its filling stations. In Lagos, petrol now sells for 835 naira per litre, while in Abuja, the price has risen to 835 naira per litre. The new prices took effect today, Wednesday, January 28, 2026, and were adjusted across NNPC retail outlets nationwide. Also on business news, Amazon has announced plans to lay off about 16,000 corporate employees worldwide. And the company said affected workers in the United States will be given about 90 days to look for other roles within the company, along with several pay and transition support. A senior Amazon executive said the decision is part of efforts to reduce bureaucracy and make the company more efficient. The latest job cuts come just months after Amazon removed 14,000 jobs, bringing the total number of layoffs in recent years to about 27,000 employees. And now, Nigeria and Turkey have announced an agreement to establish a joint economy and trade committee to increase bilateral trade to $5 billion. Turkish President Recep Erdogan stated this during a joint press briefing with President Bola Tinubu during the Nigeria's leader's state visit in Ankara, the capital of Turkey. Erdogan said Turkey targets a $5 billion trade volume with Nigeria, adding that discussions to actualize these have already commenced. And the president also said the establishment of the Joint Economy and Trade Committee between the two countries will create opportunities to expand Turkish investment in Nigeria to realize the target.
And we aim to increase the welfare of Nigerian people as well.
Also on business, the federal government has taken a significant step towards resolving Nigeria's estimated 4 trillion naira power sector debt burden, with 5 power generation companies signing settlement agreements under the Presidential Power Sector Debt Reduction Program. And the companies which operate 14 power plants nationwide include First Independent Power Limited, Ibom Power Company Limited, Mabom Limited, and Niger Delta Power Holding Company Limited. The 501 billion naira bond issuance, which recorded 100% subscription, will fund the first and second installment payments estimated at 421.42 billion naira, representing about 50% of the total settlement amount. And the bond issued by NBET Finance Company PLC comprises 300 billion naira raised from the capital market and 201 billion naira allotted in bonds to participating power generation company. And finally, on business, the Manufacturers Association of Nigeria has opposed on the proposed ban on sachet alcohol, saying the problem should be solved through proper regulations instead of an outright ban. Speaking in Lagos, MAN Director-General Shegun Kadir said sachet alcohol's products are clearly labeled not for persons under 18 and that manufacturers have followed existing rules on production and packaging. He compared sachet alcohols to medicines that have age restrictions but are still legally sold, and stressing that the access alone should not be the reason for banning the products that are already regulated.
Millions of Nigerians out of jobs. If we lose our jobs today, what are we going to do?
And that is all on today's business news. It's back to you for the rest of the bulletin. Well,
thank you, Praise. And on the foreign scene, United States President Donald Trump has urged Iran to come to the table and make a deal on nuclear weapons, or the next U.S. attack will be far worse. Trump gave the warning via a post on his social media accounts on Wednesday. President Trump, who during his first term pulled out of world power's 2015 nuclear deal with Iran, noted that his last warning to Iran was followed by a military strike in June. Iran Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi said he had not been in contact with the United States Special Envoy Steve Witkoff in recent days or requested negotiations. Trump said a U.S. naval force headed by the aircraft carrier USS Abraham Lincoln was approaching Iran. 2 U.S. officials told Reuters on Monday that the Lincoln and supporting warships had arrived in the Middle East. Israeli airstrikes continue to strike the Gaza Strip, leaving residents struggling to access food, water, and other essentials. Thousands of families face growing shortages as the humanitarian crisis deepens. The Rafah border crossing with Egypt has partially reopened, but aid delivery remains limited. Many Palestinians are still unable to reach safe areas or receive vital supplies. Humanitarian agencies warn the situation is worsening, particularly for children, the elderly, and displaced families. Aid groups stress that without expanded access, more lives could be at risk. Recent airstrikes have also killed civilians trying to reach aid points, highlighting the dangers faced by residents in the densely populated territory. The ongoing conflict continues to disrupt schools, hospitals, and other critical infrastructure. Oluwarotimi Ogunniyi, are you ready to take us around the world of sports?
Thank you, Mary. Welcome to Sport. It's match day 8 of the 2025-2026 Champions League season, and this promises to be a long, thrilling evening packed with high-stake showdowns. Let me walk you through tonight's fixtures. Ajax will lock arms with Olympiacos, while Arsenal will host Kairat Almaty at the Emirates Stadium. Arsenal are the only side to win their first 7 league phases in the 2025-2026 Champions League matches. No team has completed a perfect 8-game run since the league phase was introduced last season. Monaco will go head-to-head with Juventus in tonight's crucial match as Athletic Club welcomes Sporting CP. Atletico de Madrid will face Borja Glimt, while Bayer Leverkusen will take on Valeria. Also tonight, Borussia Dortmund will square off against Inter, while Club Brugge will face Marseille, and Frankfurt will lock on with Tottenham Hotspur. Barcelona will play against Copenhagen at the Spotify Camp Nou, while Liverpool will face Karabakh. It's going to be Paris Saint-Germain against Newcastle tonight also, and Manchester City play Galatasaray. Pafos will play Slavia Praha, and PSV battles Bayern Munich, while Union Saint-Gilloise will lock on with Atalanta, and Benfica will play against Real Madrid. Also tonight, Napoli will go head-to-head with Chelsea. In related news, Victor Osimhen faced a tough test as Nigerian stars seek UEFA Champions League survival. The Super Eagles striker is leading Galatasaray's charge in the competition, having scored 6 goals in 5 appearances this season. Osimhen's impressive form has made him Nigeria's top scorer in Champions League, surpassing Obafemi Martins' record of 9 goals. Other Nigerian stars in action today include Ademola Lookman of Atalanta, Rafael Oyedika, Club Brugge, and Nathan Tella of Bayern Leverkusen. The performance will be crucial in determining the team's chances of progressing to the knockout stage. Meanwhile, the Confederation of African Football (CAF) is considering banning goalkeepers from using towels during matches, following controversies at the recent African Cup of Nations (AFCON) in Morocco. The row began while Moroccan ball boys removed towels placed by opposition keeper, including Nigeria's Stanley Wabali and Senegal's Edouard Mendy, sparking heat exchanges and accusation of kingmanship. CAF's referee committee president Olivia Safari Kabene stated that towels are not part of players' official equipment and could influence the games or distract opponents. Kabene emphasized that goalkeepers should keep towels away from goal area, suggesting they will be placed behind advertising board or with team staff. The proposal aims to maintain fair play and prevent future disruptions. Meanwhile, President Tinubu has expressed condolences to Super Eagles captain Wilfred Ndidi following the death of his father, Sunday Ndidi. The Super Eagles captain's father died in a road accident on Tuesday at Umunede near Agbo, Delta State. The president, in a statement released on Wednesday by Special Advisor of Information and Strategy, Bayo Ononuga, commiserated with Ndidi, describing the loss as tragic and extended his sympathy. The president prayed that God would comfort the Ndidi family and grant eternal rest to the soul of the deceased. And that will be all in the world of sports today. Thank you so much for watching. I am Oluwarotimi Oguni. Thank you, Mary.
Thank you, Rotimi. Zainab Oyeni is on for entertainment news. Hello, Zainab.
Thank you, Mary, and welcome to entertainment. Nollywood actress Nkechi Blessing has publicly apologized to Big Brother Naija Season 10 winner Imisioluwa Ayonwale, popularly known as Imisi, after facing heavy backlash for a comment she made at Imisi's birthday party. Now, the controversy arose when Nkechi Blessing asked Imisi a personal question about whether she would forgive her estranged mother during the celebratory event. Many fans and observers criticized the question as insensitive given the setting. In response to the online uproar, Nkechi Blessing released a video apology expressing regrets for offending Imisi and the public, saying she did not intend to embarrass her or trend for the wrong reasons. Nkechi Blessing also said she had already apologized privately at the party and asked for forgiveness from anyone who took offense. Dede Mabiaku, a saxophonist and former colleague of Afrobeat pioneer Fela Kuti, has weighed in on the recent controversy comparing Wizkid to Fela. He argued that Wizkid should not be measured against the late legend, saying there are no parameters that justify comparing the two and emphasizing Fela's foundational impact on music. Mabiaku also suggested that a lack of historical understanding has led some to reduce Fela's legacy to mere hype, underscoring his view that these two artists come from different musical realms and eras. This comment came amid an online clash sparked when Seun Kuti criticized Wizkid's fan base for making such comparison to Fela, a debate that escalated into direct exchanges between the artists and their supporters. Nigerian singer Zlatan Ibile has dismissed a widely shared online post about his personal life as fake after he sparked chatter on social media, suggesting he publicly stated that Davita Lamai, the mother of his children, is not his wife. Now, the rapper took to his official X page to refute these claims, urging people to confirm facts before sharing. Zlatan made clear that the controversial message circulating online did not originate from him. He expressed frustration at how quickly such narratives can go viral. Nigeria's streaming scene has grown into a powerhouse of talent, creativity, and influence. Some creators have managed to capture the attention of fans nationwide, building communities, sparking trends, and redefining what online entertainment looks like. Today, we highlight the top 10 streamers who are leading the way and shaping the future of digital content in Nigeria. Nigeria is fast becoming a major force in the global live streaming space, with creators attracting millions of views and followers online. Leading the pack is Kata Efe with over 560 followers, known for high-energy live sessions on Twitch and viral moments shared across social media. Also dominating the Twitch scene is Shank Comics, a pioneer of Nigerian streaming, whose comedy-driven content continues to draw a loyal global audience with over 258 followers. Enzo, popularly known as Rhinenzo, with over 204,000 followers, has built a strong fan base through consistent gaming streams and community-focused content. On the rapidly growing Kick platform is Pella, the first African streamer to reach 100,000 followers, breaking viewership records and proving that Nigerian creators can thrive on emerging global platforms. Other notable names include Ojo, Lord Lamba, Joe Black, and King Kali, each leveraging platforms like Twitch, YouTube, and TikTok Live to engage fans in real time. With more young Nigerians embracing live streaming, this culture is quickly becoming a powerful tool for entertainment, influence, and income in the digital economy. That's it on entertainment news, and back to you, Mary, for the rest of the bulletin. Thank you.
Thank you, Zainab. That's all from us for now. Stay tuned to africanews24.ng for the latest updates. And follow us across all our social media platforms to stay informed and ahead. I'm Mary ADIM. Thanks for watching.